Sputnik went up on October the 4th, 1957, launched by the Soviet Union. And I realized at that point that life on Earth was about to change dramatically.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The Institute of Noetic Sciences was really founded out of a harnessing of our collective intention. We've been able to really engage a collective group of pioneers that are interested in asking the unasked questions.
My father was born shortly after the Wright brothers made the first airplane flight, and I went to the moon. We all have on this planet right now a very difficult challenge as to how to create a sustainable future, because our population growth, our knowledge, our technological growth has just gone crazy, and it's endangering our environment, it's endangering everything that we hold dear.
Our emphasis has been on looking at the root cause of the problems we face. The problems of deforestation or malnutrition or violence in inner cities isn't caused by something out there. The fundamental cause comes from within us. The nature of our consciousness, explored through the lens of science, may be able to address the most fundamental challenges facing civilization today.
At the Institute of Noetic Sciences, we do research that focuses in depth on questions about the fundamental nature of reality.
What is the true nature of human potential? Do we have abilities that transcend time and space, or modes of perception beyond the five senses?
Consciousness is life itself. Consciousness cannot be perceived, but without it, there is no perception. It cannot be cognized, but without it, there is no thought. So consciousness is the ground of existence that differentiates into everything we call reality: space, time, energy, information, and matter. It is both the observer and the observed.
For almost 40 years, the Institute of Noetic Sciences has explored the fundamental powers and potentials of consciousness using the tools of basic science.
Come this way and we'll go look at our new lab that's being constructed. So what we're looking at here is reconstructing our electromagnetically shielded room, which used to be up on the Hilltop campus, and now we're building it down in the Riverside campus. We use this when we do studies where we need someone to be isolated from the rest of the world. This will be part of a wet lab. We're doing biological studies, cell biology, and so on. And this is going to be used for studies where we're looking at the effect of consciousness on the way that genes express as a result of doing something, some kind of intervention.
One of the research projects that I'm doing now is we've created an extremely fancy, very sophisticated version of a clairvoyance detector. I ask you to put your mind in the box over there, and the system changes as a result. So we've looked at it in a number of different ways to make sure that it's correct, or what we're getting, and every way we've looked, it seems like it is correct.
Since the Cartesian time, body and mind, physicality and spirituality were two separate things, two separate realms of reality that did not interact. That served a very noble purpose. It got the Inquisition off the backs of the intellectuals of the period so that they could disagree with the church on physical things as long as they stayed away from spiritual and mind and consciousness things.
Even now, in this age of information, where theories about the nature of the physical world have exploded into the strange, uncharted realms of quantum physics, consciousness research continues to struggle for its rightful place in the scientific community.
Our research rests on the premise that consciousness matters. What you think matters, what you feel matters, what you intend, what you pay attention to, how you perceive your world, the way you frame your reality, it matters.
What we're beginning to learn is that our intentions, our attention, and so on kind of shape not only your own perception of reality, but something about reality itself.
From the insight gained through basic science, IONS conducts applications research, bringing the power of expanded consciousness into real-world situations. Many of these applications are now making their way into mainstream society.
About 6 years ago, the executive director of a provider of homeless services in our local area came to us and said, I love your work on how consciousness can be applied to healing, and in particular he was interested in healing trauma.
We actually had somebody call COTS and say, homeless people are garbage. Homeless people are garbage. What IANS has done at COTS is to help bring the wisdom traditions into a homeless shelter in support of broken people, pulling their lives back together to be able to receive and express joy.
We measured people before and after. We saw very positive results. And so that's one example of how sometimes a little seed project or seed funding at the Institute of Noetic Sciences can grow into a sustainable program and then hopefully get replicated to other shelters around the world.
An essential element of the Institute of Noetic Sciences is translating consciousness research into educational programs for youth and lifelong learners, with programs like Mindful Motherhood and our Worldview Literacy curriculum for high school students. Our goal is to share our consciousness work with a broad audience, in classrooms, online, and at Earthrise Retreat Center in Northern California.
I love the Noetic Sciences. I think you are a beacon of light in this world, not only in the U.S., in the world. Because you are about shifting consciousness, and it's what the work I'm doing too. And that you have such rigor in the way you approach, and the research is so thorough. And the quality of everything you do is brilliant.
This is one of the most important things anyone could be studying, is how do people shift their perspective so that they see the possibility of how they can reduce suffering and participate in advancement of both our individual lives and our collective.
Consciousness, the idea of consciousness, and not just like a mundane consciousness, the fact of being alive, but sort of like a heightened awareness. It's so important because it changes everything. It changes the way we can learn and teach and communicate and interact and connect.